Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Campaign 2, Episode 16, Part 2. Last we saw on the hour-long Patreon exclusive, we had who I'm to assume is Sif. I don't know, though. It's one of those things where if you guys don't let me know it's Sif, then I'm going to assume later on it's Sif. Matt Mercer said, we're assuming that the ashes are Sif, but the way he said it, I was already thinking along those lines. I was already thinking, why are we assuming this is Sif? I feel like there is way more going on behind the scenes, or is Matt just throwing in the towel and like, all right, whatever, it's just Sif? Because at the end, he did say Sif looked like he was paranoid as hell. It looks like he set fire to the room, burned the books. I mean, I don't know to what extent this is. We really don't know how crazy this man was or how crazy he was when he did this, or was he trying to protect people? There is a circle. They asked if they could fix it. It's a higher level thing that needs to be done to fix it, so we're not doing it. I don't even know if it can be fixed. It is out of commission. Caleb said detect magic and it didn't do anything. The only reason I bring it up is because the way I was looking at it, I thought that was the case already. I already thought, why are they assuming this is Sif? Besides that, we got a bunch of treasure. Yasha got a new sword. I have, for the first time, the Yasha shirt. Is that the sword? I don't know. Is that the sword? It doesn't look like what they described, does it? I feel like the way they described the sword was a sword that was bigger than her, or as big as her. 5 feet, 6 feet in length. They said it was used basically as an executioner's sword. So now that is her sword. We're going to have to go back to the gentleman. We were discussing whether or not there was another route we could take. We have to go back the way we came unless we find some kind of hidden passage or something. And he's going to notice Yasha has a different sword. Even if he didn't notice her sword, he's going to probably notice this sword is ancient. It's probably historical. I have to assume the sword is also valuable. Maybe that's even why he sent us there. Maybe the gentleman knew exactly where he was sending us. The fact that from where he is, they have underground rivers that flow to this location, I feel like he knows way more, and it seems like we got to go back past him. I hope the gentleman is one of these dudes that we could align with. I know he's going to be Mr. Shyster, Mr. Shady Man, but there are a lot of people like this that are in underground type places that do what they got to do to survive, but still play ball and they still act as friends. So I hope that's what we get. I hope we get him in the form of a friend rather than a foe, even if it's like kind of like hit or miss. Not to mention, we still have Cree, the tabaxi that's there, that knew Molly. So that's a whole nother thing. Who knows? Let's jump in. We'll talk more at the end. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon, the links at the end, dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have the time to edit it all. Person of Interest, Almost Human, Stargate, Battlestar, Doctor Who. Check it out. If not, here we go, guys. Campaign 2, Episode 16, Part 2. I also went back so we can rehear the Sif part.
I will say, unfortunately, the urn that was destroyed that contained what appears to have been Sif's remains is a bit large for the mend spell. Because it can only mend like a foot by foot space. And the urn was it's like a big old thing.
Clarification.
Foot by foot, and
when
it's massive.
Caleb did detect magic. Did the circle and the
I think Caleb was thinking what I'm thinking.
It has been.
Why did you
and see
say
it's been scarred
presumably
intentionally
Sif's
from the
ashes?
inside. Like possibly whatever flurry of intent that Sif had to burn the book, destroy everything, burn everything from the inside, also was to
and there
destroy
he
the circle and
confirmed
allow
kind of
nothing
that
else
it was
to come
Sif,
through.
or at least agreed
You get
with
a sense
them.
the final moments in this chamber were probably very paranoid.
Okay, what
This
do we
is pretty
remember
much where
about
we
the
ended
Crawling
it.
King?
The Crawling King. She mentioned that, and I cut it off.
check.
So this is where we're at.
We'll make a religion check.
I will too, but
The Crawling King. What is the
no.
Crawling King?
For you, no.
15 for Caleb.
no, that's a 1.
That's a 1.
Should have counted.
Oh, it wasn't an herbalism kit. I'm stupid. It wasn't an herbalism kit that could heal the poison. It was medicinal herbs. That's what I had in my inventory that I remember.
Oh.
But it's
you
the
rolled
same.
pretty well.
Okay.
Same difference.
Okay.
Same difference.
We'll say it would have lasted a little longer, but you still managed to outlast the
I'm gonna
poison.
hit the
There was no
radiator.
threat at that moment, so. All right, so what'd you roll?
Oh, 15.
15 religion? Anybody else? No?
I rolled it, but
What'd you roll?
a 20.
A 20?
So you rolled a
Plus
1?
Just a 20.
1.
Just a 20. Yeah, he seems very down about that
The
20.
Crawling King
Crawling King.
is known as what
Gotta
you
pay
can
attention.
recall with the 20 strangely. And the information comes to you esoterically. You're not entirely certain where the inspiration for this knowledge comes from, but you just have these images
The crawling
of
king.
one of the betrayer gods in history. You've heard like stories or something that just kind of inspires you to remember something inhuman and larva-like, a monstrous,
What?
terrible worm crawling through the deepest tunnels of the world.
What?
Now locked away.
The crawling king is a
Post-calamity.
giant
All the rest of the
worm?
betrayer gods.
Why do you have such a queer look on your face?
Well, I just feel like I remember something about like a real larva-looking worm, huge fucking thing,
Screaming human face at the
screaming
front.
human face in the front.
For the crawling king you're talking
Yeah.
about?
I definitely start drawing that in my notes.
Screaming human face reminds me of Avatar, The Last
Real
Airbender.
nasty.
Do you have a lot of
That
knowledge
weird
for the,
creature with the human
the
face.
gods and religions of the world?
Not really. It's more like I remember from a dream or something. Kind of hard to remember if it happened to me or not.
So the awe-inspiring one with the face is from a dream you had?
Was it the saltwater dream?
No.
Saltwater
Could be.
dreams with
You need
Travis.
to work on vivid dreams. You can control yourself.
lucid
through
dreaming.
Lucid dreaming, yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know. You think it's
smart.
crystals
You
or
can,
something?
and you can keep a dream journal.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
a good way to do it.
When you wake up, you work,
Yeah.
you write. You just write.
Write it down immediately what you remember.
Your
I would
dream
really do
journal.
it.
An insight check on Ford while he tells us that story. Pretty good. 20.
20. Pretty good, just like Ford.
Best you can tell, he's telling the truth.
As per usual.
Well, I kind of think this information about the teleportation-y circle situation could be useful leverage if he wants to try and take that sword off of your back.
I could also, I feel like rich people like candlesticks, so I could take the candlesticks with us.
What?
I mean, yeah, what are they made?
Look at, I think
No,
Talzin's
metal
thinking
is-
rich people like
Candlesticks
candlesticks.
are made
What?
of?
Well, nothing I could tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they're made out of nice metal. They're not made out of platinum or anything, but
Silver?
they're fine candle. Could be a silver-like material. It's
They're antique, you know, for decoration.
Fuck yeah, man, melt that down.
Maybe let's.
I wouldn't not take it, but I don't think that's going to be the deciding
I
factor
say we
Intelligence
keep,
check.
to save the
we keep this
sword or something.
teleportation a secret, unless he tries to start bargaining for shit, and then
Natural
we're
one.
like,
Another natural one.
I don't know
"Yes,
about that.
teleportation circle,
You have a
we
hard
told
time.
you that, you give us the sword.
I don't know about. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that
Yeah,
like
but-
really
Are we
loud?
going
Metal
to tell him
ones.
about this sword?
Not unless he asks.
Pretty sure it's aluminium.
I feel like that red line.
There's a sword.
No, I think that we just give him the things of monetary value. We are thinking the long term for this group, working together, and this book
I just want to make sure.
and that blade are going to ensure a greater success and
Yeah.
cohesion. in the
Book
future.
and
That's what we're
blade
saying.
We give them
Bow-
as one.
Yeah.
is on the
I
right
mean, I can
track,
try to
but
fit
you
it
don't.
in the-
I feel like the
What if it
second you
rips?
hold
I don't think it's a good
information,
idea.
If
you
it
hold the
pierces, it's
information.
bad,
Can we
so
try to do it but go with the hilt downward? And see what happens?
Why don't we try to camouflage it? We could wrap it in reeds and just say that. Oh,
Rubs on the ash on it.
What is it?
What if I have you on my shoulders,
Uh huh.
like, you know, like
Yeah,
a kid?
sure. Yeah, of course.
And we'll hide the
normally
size?
travel and-
Behind
Yeah.
us.
Like it can be up your butt.
Yeah. how-
It could be up your
in front of
butt.
me?
It's connected to. That's not gonna work.
It
No,
might-
no.
No, I
it
like
totally
this.
work.
No, I think it
drape
could work.
Myself over it.
Yeah,
always
kind of
been
like
a
hug it,
sector.
like hold on to it like a handle. That's what I was
have some
thinking.
crossbow
Go on the
bolts,
hilt,
crowbar,
kinda sit on
and
it
a
like that.
sledgehammer,
Can we take out
and I
everything
have
except
this long
for...
sword, and I have these old vases that we're going to give him,
Well,
and I have
it's-
this old dodecahedron, and I open up the lead box.
Oh God.
Oh God!
This is taking up a lot of space.
Caleb just starts looking at the door.
And then I
Ah,
put it, start shoving it all back in.
She opens the lead box willy nilly with the
did you forget we
dodecahedron
got
in it.
That.
Where's our dynamite?
My God, I literally saw Travis's face look at Matt like, holy shit, what is about to happen? Are you going to do something?
don't we have two
I thought Matt was going to be like,
boomsticks?
all of a sudden, an explosion.
I don't have
I
that.
have one.
Two
I
boomsticks.
think.
Chester.
Don't we have drugs?
No, maybe I don't.
Chester.
We have mushrooms.
Jester!
I'm listening.
I know you
what?
are, but I'm cutting through the noise. Can we not take everything out of that bag except for this new blade and the dodecahedron? And everything else comes out? Because the rest is pretty utility, is it not?
Well, it's 8 cubic square feet.
It might work. We can try to fit.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we
the
can
sword,
tie a rag
8
around the
cubic
end of
square
the
feet
blade.
is a lot.
Does it
Piercing
have
anything?
does it have a scabbard?
8 cubic square
no,
feet,
it
guys,
doesn't.
is a
Ornaments
lot of
replaced on the
room.
wall.
I have 10 cubic foot trucks.
probably get one
I
of those
literally
made.
use cubic feet when I use my moving and junk removal.
Off the,
10
the new cloak
cubic
that I got
feet
a
is a
handful of
lot.
days ago, and
They
we
have
can
8.
wrap this around the blade so it will not pierce.
Tie it up.
Yeah,
And bundle
tie
it.
up. Of course that will work.
I mean, I
It
know
works, it
the
doesn't
sword
pierce
is.
from inside. It can only be pierced
See,
from
the sword,
outside.
it's tough because the
Are you
sword
trying to
is
place
like
the blade
5
inside?
feet. It depends how you
Place it
could
into
manipulate
there,
it.
and it kind of gets to the hilt and it won't go all the way in.
It's too big.
You have too much stuff in it.
It's too much stuff. So if we remove stuff, it should fit.
Carry all this stuff.
I'll take the sledgehammer out.
Sledgehammer, it's a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
So
leave it.
Will it fit once I take the sledgehammer out?
Everything but the dodecahedron.
See, the unfortunate thing is it's a very
Long.
long blade.
That's my
compared to the
problem.
point,
I said
so it's just more like if you consider the space itself is
like if you
somewhat
can
amorphous, but
make
you
8
consider it still
cubic
kind of a
feet,
central
whatever
space.
size you want, straight up and down. But if it's
I
a
thought the sword was
cube,
going to fucking fit here.
I still like
if it's a
Yasha's
cube,
idea.
it's just too
It's
big and it can't be
Yasha's
bent.
Yasha's idea.
Just kinda
It's
slip
not
it up
the
your
best
back
idea,
row.
But I can slip it up my back, and then you can be on my shoulders like
Sure.
you're tired or something.
Wear my cloak if you want to
Put
cover.
it around and
Yeah.
not
In all
keep, like,
seriousness.
put her legs out.
Who, unless he knew there was a sword there, which is unlikely,
We're dead, you guys.
what is the odds he would recognize the sword you had before?
Alright, let's
Just
go.
give him the sword you currently have
I hang back
and say, we
from
found
the
this
back of the
sword.
room for
I
a
don't
split
know.
second and hold that wire that I used to cast that cantrip and just look at the room and I look at the wire. And then I follow everybody.
Okay. You guys make your way back up
Interesting.
through the chamber where you had the encounter with the gelatinous cube, and solve the riddle of the hidden interior of this research facility. Make your way through the no longer trapped chamber, still tenuously held on the various pressure plates.
Oh man, we should have tried to go through that teleportation circle.
It was broken.
It was
Yeah,
broken,
should
we
have
asked.
tried
And who knows, they worship some weird shit. Who knows what dark corners of the world it goes
Like one
to.
of the 9 hells, but like only a third of you.
Exactly.
All you would have done is face planted on the
I
stone.
feel like that is pointless, the teleportation
So we're
circle.
gonna start with just trying to give them the rings and the art, right? Rings,
Yeah.
art, shit. Keep
And the
everything else.
candlesticks.
Rings are shit.
I think the God of Gods wants to say something.
Yes,
I
it
was just
does.
saying, as you guys are having this conversation, you continue up the spiral staircase, coming to where the wall had been blown down and then cleared out from you guys to enter. And there, as you hear
The
the familiar
collapse.
sound of rushing water, you climb out back into the much cooler kind of airflow that's blowing through the subterranean tunnel. There, your 2 boats are still affixed, pulled up onto the edge of the river.
Ooh, and can I say that as soon as I left this chamber, I tagged along behind my new monk best friend and set the globules in the air around us, even though she has the goggles. And I just, while walking, trying to read every page of that journal.
Okay,
Yeah. And we'll continue to do so on the boats.
gotcha.
Thank you
All
for
right.
He is
saving me.
reading up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for saving me, Ford.
No problem.
All right, so who's taking which boat?
I would like to get in a boat with Caleb.
Yasha and Caleb on one side,
And me.
At night.
and not the rest in the other.
I have to go in the other boat.
All right.
Yeah, because we need the strength. We need Jester and Yasha in separate boats for the
You
strength
guys going
run.
up back where you came. Which is
Does
it?
the river keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, the river continues going, yeah. And it forked ahead where you were.
Current goes away from the direction we came
Yeah.
from.
Correct, but
Never
it's
fight the
not a
current.
strong current. It's just like a lazy.
We just
current.
have to-
But you
I mean, we
could
don't
row
really
up.
have
It's
We're
just
gonna
a
have to
little
row
harder.
up
Just so you
the
get
current,
down the
but
river a bit.
doable.
But if we want to go back, our 2 muscle sisters could get us up this current.
You could.
For sure.
It'll be tiring, but
And we're already out. We're already out this far. Might as
The
well see
muscle
where it goes for a
sisters.
little bit.
It could be scary. There could be more rock
There are literally
monsters.
going
And
to
We
be
did,
rock
and we
monsters
have
that
to
go
go
the other
back.
way.
We are
We just
doing
ran
that,
from
and I
two.
suggest camping.
We
camping.
do have to go back
This
past the
chamber
rock
before
monsters. I
we are
I
all
didn't think of that
bloody
till they just said it.
better,
Sure, we could do that.
It has been a really long day so far.
Yeah,
What time
the
is it?
gentleman did not give us a. Did he give us
make a
any kind of-
survival check now.
I would know what time of day it is.
You would because of your feet, yeah.
And so would I, because I rolled an 18.
The two of you know that in the time you spent traveling down here in the subterranean area, resting and going through these battles, and you left kind of midday is when you had arrived to begin your journey here. It's getting pretty close to dusk. Not quite yet. The sun hasn't set.
I say we go downriver.
And then come back.
Yeah, that's what I say.
We should go.
I say we
either
go
back
downriver
where
a
we
little
came,
bit, we see what
or
there
we
is,
camp
and if
before going forward.
We could do a scout boat.
Or we go check out what's further away.
I say further.
Maybe one boat stays behind, the others scout it out.
I'm going to stay behind. I am.
Separate the party.
Separate the party.
I'll go forward.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Should our
Terrible
our
idea.
scout-
I don't think
Our
we
boat
should split up.
scouts.
I say we
So
go
we'll-
venture, but I don't say we
Sure.
split up.
All right. So
Like, what if
have,
we encounter?
I'll kind of use my.
I mean,
staff
we
to help
will know what's
navigate
going on,
Jester
though.
by-
Say they encounter a.
So Yasha, Nut, and Caleb are staying behind.
Say we encounter a
The other
foe.
four-
I'll watch.
We could always be like,
You keep watch.
we've
Before
been
you
taking a
guys
while. I hope
get-
the others come.
Okay.
The rest of you get into one of the boats, push off, catch up onto the current, and begin to lazily drift further down the
I
cavern.
feel like this is stupid.
Bye, guys.
See you
Bye.
later.
See you never.
Just taking a little look.
And only going like an hour down tops.
I light a torch.
The light picks up and kind of spells out the interior of this chamber.
Yeah, keep an eye on the roof, remember?
If the current starts to pick up, we're going to fight it and try to go back. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
As they
good
float
call.
away Out of earshot,
Say
I
it
to my
now.
two friends here, you know, if need be, the mighty dry also sounds very cool.
We're taking a cat.
The mighty dry.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't think it works
No,
that
the
far
cat-
away from me.
Yeah.
No, Frumpkin is scarfing around right now.
You guys travel for about 10 or 15 minutes down
He should have let Frumpkin.
before you see
Well, he
what
can
looks
only
to be
see so far.
another cavern merges with the one you're in. And it looks like another side of the river seems to merge with
Oh,
yours.
that's where the fork was. It comes back together.
Oh, we're back to the fork. Okay,
Well, you're
okay.
back
No, no,
where
no.
the fork
You're at
seems
where
to
the fork
remerge with
rejoined.
The path you've been taking. And so as you turn back onto where that happens, what do you do?
We're going down that other path,
Yeah,
right?
just
No.
Going straight ahead.
That we didn't go down.
No, no, no.
Oh.
Marisha's
Are you
not
guys completely
understanding.
downriver, or are you going?
We're turning.
Marisha
back, going
thinks
the other
we're
way.
back.
We could check out the other cavern and save the deeper part of the river for when we're together.
I feel like Marisha thinks we went back to the fork. We kept
Yeah, we're
going.
fine.
Okay.
The other fork.
So Jester turns it around and begins going against the current and
I
pulling
get
you
behind
guys
Justin and
up.
start massaging her traps.
There you go. kind of switchbacking towards the other avenue of the fork, and you guys continue up there. It takes a little while longer, and it's a little tiring. For the heck of it, go ahead and just make a Constitution check, please.
Constitution check.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going back up the other side of the fork.
16. No sweat. You're making it up the river without an issue. Your muscles are holding and fine. You are a beast.
You are a piece. Love it.
Eventually, the sound of rushing water gets louder and louder, and you glance up in the direction where you're coming from, and there's a fine mist in the air, kind of a spray.
There's a waterfall.
And it looks like there is a waterfall that you guys are at the bottom of. And it's about a 15-foot drop from above to the bottom of where you are. So you'd have to climb to get to the top, and you have no idea how to get a boat up there. But you get the sense that if you had gone the other way
We'd have had
down
top
here,
on our
you
hands.
would have suddenly had a waterfall drop.
Is there gonna land onto the sides of the bottom of the waterfall?
A very thin, sort of like a half a foot to a foot, but there are a lot of stones and rocks that have kind of tumbled through the river over time.
So they would have
kind of
fell
set
off
bottom
the
that
damn
would
thing.
destroy
I
the
thought it was
bottom
just
of
like
that
a separate
waterfall.
way. They would have went off the
See if
current.
there were any boats that are broken at the bottom of it.
You can make an investigation.
Yes, do that.
As you're like rowing up to the edge, like glancing off
Is there
the side.
anywhere to stop the boat?
Do more perception checks. Can't really investigate. You're not pouring through
I'll
it,
join
so
this.
there's no place to like pull the boat
Pull
off to
the
the
boat
side.
over?
No.
But is there a place to tie it off?
Um,
no, like
the only really the stones here, and they're pretty slick.
I only rolled a 10.
A 10. You don't see any remnants of broken ship. or
So
boat.
people must know not to go that way. Wouldn't that have been good
10
information for
Yeah,
some
it's
people
all
to
this
tell us
vicinity.
on the
But
way to the
You do
collapse?
see the water kind of crashing down. It looks like there are a couple of small platforms on the way that's kind of hitting and splashing off again. The spray is kind of causing all this.
Is the waterfall like really hardcore? Like, could we see if
15
there's anything
feet?
behind the waterfall?
Go ahead and well, at the moment, no. You don't from what you can see in the vicinity, you see just the water rushing down below.
Get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I can poke.
Okay, okay.
Find Chlorua again.
I definitely say investigate the waterfall.
Closer so
I'm
that she
totally
can
in
jump
on
through the
investigating
waterfall.
waterfalls. There's always hidden things in
Stab and
waterfalls.
Okay.
Video games always behind waterfalls. I check.
On one hand, it hits rock. Does not. There's a little space behind the water.
Should we go?
There's always shit behind water.
There's always shit behind waterfalls.
I'm already
going to
taking off my
bludgeon us?
jacket. I'm taking off everything that I don't want to get wet. Keeping just one sword, and
What could it be? Is it just going to be a treasure, or is it going to be
Weirdly,
something?
there are no nipple rings. Those
Nipple
things are
ring?
dangerous. They catch on shit.
You do not want nipple rings when fighting.
16.
All right. So Molly just jumps off the boat. And
Oh, you're like jumping
Oh yeah,
down?
I'm going in.
You're not gonna try to get the boat
under the
through?
waterfall.
Myself, I do the same thing.
Four dives in. Both you.
in it.
I go up.
Tried to get the boat through.
They are all
so you
splitting
row
up.
the
I mean, like,
You
everyone
close
is.
the waterfall, and the boat. The opening is not wide enough for the boat, and it kind of jams up into the space and gets lodged, and the waterfall's just on you guys and in the boat.
Oh, shit.
It's filling up the boat.
Sink the boat. Okay, we tried to push off.
Okay, you're both, make a strength check.
Oh god.
Help her push off.
Oh, my God.
Well, you have advantage because she's aiding you with this.
Jeez.
Much.
What'd you roll?
21.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Good.
that'll do it. So as you push away,
That could have got very dangerous,
Actually,
guys.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull up some audio for this because I have it.
Pulling up audio.
We're going jungle cruise on this. I'm so
I really want to go see what's behind the waterfall, but I don't.
Almost like a
crawling up into it, man.
Well,
We'll lose the boat if I jump out of the boat.
will it go anywhere though? This is the end of it. It's kind of stuck in the chamber.
No, because it's
No.
gonna have a flow because the water is coming.
We're going
down. You have
against
to
the
tie it off on
current.
something.
Is there anything to tie the boat on?
Not until you.
There's nothing here. Unfortunately, it's slick rocks.
Do you see anything on the other side?
I'll let you know when I get there.
He's just swimming. He's just kind of making his way through at the moment.
There's a long pier.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I'm so excited. I want to hear your white noise.
I know. I've used it before.
We are taking some time. I feel like Marisha
I think it works like that.
It
has the most trouble following sometimes.
So
Because in that one case, she made like 3. She's like, yeah, can't we? Like,
as you
Matt
make your way through,
described in great
There you
detail
go. Keep it thematic.
that literally Jester couldn't, like literally, we almost had a major
Come up
disaster.
from underneath, and you can see as soon as you come up and reach out your feet and your hands, but for both of you guys, begin to catch like soft river floor, and eventually it comes up to what appears to be a plateau. And this is a small enclosed chamber on the inside.
What?
I've always wanted to do this.
Dark vision. Do I see anything?
It only goes back about.
See,
10 or so
my
feet.
guess is if these
and
dudes
this-
like
this-
Sif and them were down here, there must be other things.
It's been a while. He's just folding beer cans in like little shapes. What's an Alhoon to do? Anyway, you guys come out of the water and like quickly glance as you know your hair is kind of drenched on the sides of your face. It's ever used short enough hair. And the inside, it's fairly empty except for what appears to be a skeleton, a humanoid skeleton.
Yes.
Against a back wall that is just laying there. It looks to have what look to be manacles or chains attached.
My
to its
God, he
wrists,
died a
neck,
prisoner.
and feet, and they're all connected by a singular chain in the center, and it's just resting there, and it's probably been here for a while.
That's bad luck.
Yeah.
We seem to keep finding these.
Yeah.
I'm going to examine this thing. I'm gonna.
Oh my God.
Investigation check.
He probably starved to death. Handcuffed, died.
7.
I mean,
God.
the body's pretty rotted. Looks like whatever clothing they're wearing is very basic material that is just. It would be more disintegrated if there wasn't so much moisture in the area, and it looks like bits of it have just been eaten away with fungus and mold over time.
Delicious.
The manacles are very well made, and they look to have what. Just looking at the edges where they connect, there's like a small rune at that point.
It's got to be a prisoner
Walls or any, like,
of Sif
couches
or
carpets
whoever.
on the floor around this little space.
Make an investigation check.
Natural 19.
Glancing around the interior of the chamber, unfortunately, there are no secret compartments or any alcoves. It looks like whoever was in here may have been an individual who escaped from a boat that was unprepared for the fall and whoever was rowing them down this chamber either didn't survive or didn't know about this hidden alcove, and this individual was in here until they passed away.
What do those manacles look like?
Magic.
Oh,
Other than that.
we could use those. I'll walk over and I'll just step on the elbow joint and snap it.
As you do, the whole skeleton just implodes entirely, and the manacles just slip off as the different joints
Beautiful.
just kind of pull
Love it.
apart and alleviate the manacle. And now you're holding the center chain, and so you have the neck ring, the wrist, and the ankle rings all just kind of dangling from this cluster of chain you're holding.
I will pick up the skull and take a look at it. It is human.
He said
It
humanoid.
appears to be human. Make a medicine check.
All these checks. Where's my medicine? There. 12.
12. Looking at the features of the skull, they're a little bit more delicate than an average human skull. You get the sense they may be of partial elven blood. Not full elf, but partial elven.
Never go full elf.
On your way, Yorick. I set it adrift.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Yep, throw the manacles over and I'll jump back in.
I'm going to also keep my eyes open. I'm going to try and get a little bit down into this just to see if there's any bits and pieces on the
Underwater?
underwater.
Yeah, that's all good.
All right, make an investigation check when you come back to the water.
Dive down, do a little-
I was gonna say, so far, this didn't amount to a whole
You guys
lot.
both go down there, so you roll twice with advantage then.
I mean, considering we had to row
Help
upstream,
action
do all the
wise.
things we did, a body,
18.
got some
18.
manacles.
Looking down below there, you do see at the bottom, mostly covered in kind of, masses of soft dirt and silt at the bottom, pieces of broken ship, and amongst the jagged rocks, it looks like more than one. A few ships have met their end at the base of this waterfall, definitely.
So people have
But
gone
beyond
this
that,
way.
you don't notice anything.
Don't you think the
do find,
gentleman's
like, a
dudes
rusty
or the
short
gentleman
sword,
himself should have said, "Stay left at the fork"?
and what looks to be a couple of broken pieces of boxes, but anything that was left at the bottom of the waterfall seems like would have been recovered. Anything of worth, someone must have come back for and sifted through. So everything down there appears to be just like rotted wood and things that were
Kicking
unuseful.
my way back. I'm going to kick back up to the boat at great speed.
You guys break the surface and climb back into the boat.
He farts.
Oh, gross, Molly.
Snot rockets.
Did you find anything?
A lot of bad decisions.
We used to do that all the time when I did construction.
That's mean.
People would snot rocket all over because your hands would be so gross and dirty. You literally had to go like this and blow your nose out because it was so dirty
Give me a hand.
with sheetrock and insulation and stuff. We didn't wear masks. We were horrible.
think I should
Very
find that
illegal.
gross
Well,
one.
not illegal, but horrible for your body.
You know, people are gonna start.
I lift him up by his armpit.
Tusk love. Tusk love. I love it.
Spin him around once.
Jester lives, yeah, like Dirty Dancing.
We did find one interesting thing. A place to stash things if we don't want them to be found.
Ah.
That's
How easy is it to get back down here, though?
Real difficult.
Yeah.
If we come out the other way, then we know how to get back down here.
We're never coming back here.
If we could get out the other way, then he's right. If we could get out the other way, this is a great hiding place.
Good enough.
First, we got to find out what's on the other end.
You're like 150.
I am, well, like 185 easy. Okay.
I weigh 185. That is my regular weight. 185, 190 tops. Usually that's where I fluctuate.
150? No.
And I'm about
We were
5'11".
there with you.
A little bit, yeah.
And I'm an average dude, I
Beg
guess.
for it, it makes it even better.
It's even better, right? But
Explain that, Joe. Explain it.
That's what Twitter is for.
So what are you guys doing?
I think we're going to go back and join the others. Yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
You
That
guys
was
make
fun.
your
All
way-
right.
You make your way back, fighting.
Good amount of the
fighting-
episode was that. But hey, we did find
go ahead and
things.
Make another Constitution check.
oh shit, I'm getting real tired, you guys. No, I'm not. I'm not getting tired at all. Actually, 17.
Just powering through, no issue. All right, you guys make it back. You join the rest of the crew. You guys see a mildly damp Molly Mock. Actually, the whole crew is damp at this point from going under the water.
I was gonna say most of us were in the water and then went under the
Point in
waterfall.
time with the searching would probably be close to an hour or so.
I could probably read an average novel in just over an hour. So has this journal been read?
From what you can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cover
So
to cover.
you've read everything within the journal you can make sense of.
While they were gone,
What do you have? Do you have another spell slot for tongues? Or for comprehend languages, not tongues.
Oh, because it's in a different
It's in a
language.
different language.
Oh yeah.
Journal? The research one?
No, because I used my magic thingy to get back a
that's
slot
right.
earlier in the day. So no,
technically,
I'm not
can't
gonna-
you still remember everything?
I
You just
remember
won't
what I.
understand
He
it?
skimmed
No,
through
I
quickly.
remember what I
So
skimmed, but I
What was
didn't
it
read.
written
Until
in?
you get your draconic.
Draconic, that's
So in the
But I mean, you
No.
have a photographic memory, don't
That
you?
wasn't me. That
What I
was
skimmed.
Caleb.
I have to actually read it to remember it, and I did not read this
Yeah,
entire book.
you can't cast the spell and then remember the
Don't touch
language.
book
He has
with
to
my head in
actually.
the habit.
Yeah.
I have to eat the book.
Yeah. Just
Eat
piece
the
by
book.
piece.
So did he just waste his time? Is that what they're
So now that
saying?
you've rejoined with your compatriots.
He read the whole book and has no slot. So now he's got to reread the
Long
book
rest or go back.
to remember it.
Yeah. yeah.
He said he can't just touch to his head.
You guys take the boats back up on the side. Where are you resting? Just here on the side of the river?
Oh, but what I would have done if they left and I'm tapped, Caleb would have just used a ritual to cast comprehend languages.
As a ritual spell?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
true.
Then you're
Yeah.
you're
So
fine.
then I'm up to speed.
Then you're good. Alrighty.
Negotiate.
We should actually go back inside and use the
All right.
entrance. as a
We
good
just
spot.
corrected the problem. Look at that. Caleb using the brain.
Okay.
Caleb, if you're done with that book, you think I could hold on to it?
Yeah, would you like to read it?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you.
All right. So you guys pull the boats up on the side.
Bo,
head back
I love it.
inside.
They're getting a
We're gonna
little-
set up camp on the inside of the chamber.
How about in the place where we disarmed all the traps? We know that that's safe.
That's a bit deep in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Camp in the staircase.
Just inside of the rock collapse.
Where
That
the
is
purple.
staircase.
It is immediately.
Oh.
Yes, immediately.
You are a reader.
Then yeah, at the bottom.
Yeah, the top.
Okay.
The bottom. The
I
bottom.
think at the top personally.
Yeah, because the bottom one with the things, the
Yeah.
trap blockages.
Right
were
before the
starting to come
staircase,
up.
right inside.
Yeah, I would think if we sit where the traps are, what
Right,
if they
so-
spring loose or something?
You
I
guys
wouldn't
set
sit
up
where
a
the
small camp
traps are.
area. Take whatever bedrolls and materials you have. You do the best you can to set up a space to sleep, but you find enough of a division of the floor to at least get to a resting point, and you guys begin your evening's long rest.
I know a nerd when I see one.
Yeah, it's because you.
Could I have-
Like every day.
Could I
Uh-oh.
have everybody at the table except for Ford please leave and go take your break a little early?
Oh, we're going to get some Ford.
He was in the water before he went
Every
to
time he
sleep.
touches the water, he has backstory.
I love it. He has backstory. Oh, that's right, because he did touch the water. The Kraken. I didn't even think of that. He did. He went in the water. So is that triggering
Kraken.
Mr. Ford? Oh, I'm in for this. Cheers, everybody.
I just want to bring this with me, that's all.
That makes sense. Oh no. Oh god.
I love that Ford doesn't know anything right now.
As the sleep takes you, and the darkness of your dream state alleviates you of the stress of the day, your aching muscles turning numb, your physical form and consciousness now removed and aimless in this dark space.
The cat just
You look
pushed the
down
whole
at your
door
hand,
open.
and there you see clasped in your grip the somewhat hooked and curved blade that you had recently bound with. In your grasp, you swing it and slowly inspect it as you do. As you swirl the blade around in your hand, it almost has a trail around it. And as you hold it coldly in your grasp, this yellow light suddenly emerges in front of you as a familiar, large, yellow eye
Oh,
now looks upon you. And a voice fills you, directionless.
is it the Kraken or something?
Consume. And you glance at the blade and back at the eye, and the voice again says, Consume. What do you do?
I have that shirt. You guys saw I wore it in EXU the other day. It says all those words. Is that one of them? Consume?
Oh god, am I gonna try and swallow the sword?
That can't be. It can't be
Use it
eat
for
the
it.
sword. It got to be like absorb something, not actually physically eat the sword.
It's a large blade, right?
It's about like this wide in places. It comes out and kind of arcs and curves, and it's got kind of jagged edges on it.
It cannot mean to actually.
I don't know what you mean. Consume. Fuck it. I'll turn the blade over and, like, keeping my eyes on the big eye, I'll bring it up to my mouth.
That
and
can't
open
be
it.
literal. It can't mean that.
It's cold to the touch of your tongue. The blade completely absent of any temperature.
And I'll
As you begin to force it down your gullet, you feel the edge of the blade hit the back of your throat, and the moment of pain hits you as it begins to cut through your flesh. But at that point, this kind of ravenous hunger begins to build on the inside of your stomach, and though the pain tells you to pull away, you continue to just force the blade down.
It is a dream.
As you pull it down from hilt, you feel the blood begin to burble up in the back of your throat and spill out of your chin, but you continue to push it until the entirety of the blade is consumed within your throat. Close your eyes for a moment and look up at the eye once more, and the voice returns to fill, reverberating around you. The pain subsides, and it says, "Good."
What the fuck?
The eye closes, the lid completely cutting off the source. The cold, the liquid, the water around you, the sense of being under the ocean again begins to whisk you away. Some sort of heavy current begins to pull you from behind, and you reach out, trying to grasp for any sort of hand or foothold, but yet you have nothing to hold on to. And as you feel yourself being dragged into this endless abyss, the dream comes to an end. You wake up.
What? Are you bleeding? Is anything wrong?
Everyone else is kind of asleep in the area. No one seems to have been woken up from your presence.
anything on my hands.
Anything like blood? Are
Nothing
you
in your hands, no.
Can I wipe my mouth?
Wipe your mouth. It's a little bit of blood
a little bit of blood?
across your hand.
Can I try and summon the sword?
You do, and as you summon it, there before you is not the Waste Hunter blade, but the falchion, now returned to grasp, but with a strange, more hooked and jagged appearance to it. It seems that the essence
Of the
this pact has consumed the weapon you had bound with and made it one with the falchion that you made this pact with oath so long ago.
I try and keep my... Make it disappear again.
So it's funny because I was
Don't worry about
accidentally
that
saying
part.
he had his
Any eyes open
falchion.
at all.
At the moment, no.
I'll lay back down and go to sleep.
All right. And that's we'll take our break.
Holy shit!
Oh
So
my
we'll be
god.
right back, guys. As a reminder, we do have our giveaway tonight. We have the Wingy Hero Vault, which is the awesome Darkwood color from our friends at Wormwood. You can contain your dice and
What is it
character
called?
model.
Wenge?
And this will
Wenge?
go to whoever wins.
I'm happy that it ended like that because we could do the live stream and then I could talk to you guys, and anything that I might be mistaking, you could clarify me on. But from what I gather, first off, the first half of part 2 was basically us deciding what to do, where to go from here. We split the group. Caleb reads this journal and the rest of us go downriver. We then hit where the fork in the road would have met where we are currently at. We go upstream against the current, find a waterfall, find out that had we gone that way, we would have plummeted off the waterfall. There are boats broken up on the bottom after investigative checks, and we see behind the waterfall is a hidden passage. I am so happy. Marisha agreed. A lot of us agreed. There's always shit behind waterfalls. I remember every video game I've ever played. You see a waterfall, you immediately check behind the waterfall, or at least you go up and you tap the screen. Sometimes nothing would happen, but a lot of the time, one of the waterfalls would be something. I feel like every game that incorporated waterfalls had at least one of the waterfalls have a secret passage or something to do with it. Not all of them, but say the game had 10 waterfalls, I feel like one of them had a secret passage with a chest or something behind it, and we end up finding a secret passage, so to speak. But we find this guy, he's chained up, he basically lived his days out here and died. Molly says, hey, we could probably use this to hide stuff. Only problem is, that's a really far away place to hide shit. I think If anything, we should have kept going and seen where we come out. If we come out somewhere that's near to where we're familiar, we could use that place, like Molly said, but we won't know until we go down. But it doesn't matter. We regrouped with everybody. We are now sleeping in the place where all this magic happened, all the stuff with Sif, at least on the top floor. I think that's a wise choice, because if we're on the bottom, first off, the traps could spring. If people surprise us in the night, at least they'll have to come up the stairs. We'll probably hear somebody before anything happens. If we're on the bottom, I mean, we just gotta hope that no one comes and ambushes us in the night. But the biggest part of all this is in the second half, or at least the last 5 to 10 minutes of it. Travis has a dream. We find out more about his backstory. We find out there's a big yellow eye. I feel like that is something like a sea creature, like an octopus or a kraken or something like that. We joke, and he even said the kraken, but it is very possible we're dealing with a kraken of sorts, a big, giant yellow eye. It's possible, but it speaks. Now, is it just that it speaks in his head, so Travis hears it in his mind? Or is it actually speaking? Because if it actually talks, I don't think it's a kraken. It still might not be a kraken, but I can't believe it actually wanted him to eat the sword. When it said consume, I'm thinking consume. Like, it wants you to absorb something. You have to absorb the power or consume something, not actually physically eat the sword. He starts eating it. I can't even believe he did it. And then it starts puncturing his throat. I already thought, like, oh my God, but it is a dream. We've woken up from dreams and spit up water and had things happen, almost like Nightmare on Elm Street type shit that happens in real life that you were experiencing in your dream. He's bleeding from his mouth, so part of it had some effect. When he calls upon the sword, it is the falchion again, but in the form of the hooked blade of the sword he just had. So whatever he did in his dream to consume the sword, actually eat the sword, he bonded it back with whatever was in him, and it's back to the falchion, because the falchion is what he originally was bonded with. I mean, we experienced it with his armor too, didn't we? Wasn't it his armor that changed? Now the sword has changed back to the falchion, but has the same appearance of the other sword. I feel like we've brought this up before, but just in case, because I'm not clear right now off the top of my head, in video games, when you upgrade weaponry, it also adds to your attack power and stuff like that. Is that happening with their characters? Because I can't remember all their statistics. So, for instance, Yasha got this new Executor's Blade. Does that raise her actual stats, like some of them, like her attack power? Because what would be the point of switching weapons if it didn't, unless it's just aesthetics, like, oh, this is a bigger, cooler looking sword? It obviously has to do something as far as attack power. I know it could be enchanted, it could have certain abilities, I guess, but besides that, it's gotta increase your ability or your power, I would think. But Ford wakes up, he's got the falchion, he freaks out, he keeps it a secret, he goes back to sleep. Caleb couldn't actually translate the journal even though he read it because he didn't have a slot left. So I guess he had to have a slot left to use, I think it was called comprehend languages. This is where it gets a little fuzzy with me as far as learning the game, because we don't often take naps. And when we do, we're usually partying and drinking alcohol and stuff like that. And it was lower levels before. So when they take a nap, that reopens the spell slots, like they regain their spell slots. I forget. I know you guys tell me 100 times, but this is like school where you have to keep repeating things to me. And I do read all the comments and stuff like that. It's just so much I got to pay attention to and so much I got to remember. I forget some things. So help me out here. When they go to sleep, they reawaken. They're completely healed. The thing that throws me off is spell slots, cantrips, and I guess that's about it. What happens when we wake up? The spell slots, the cantrips, they reset? Or they get one back? And Marisha has the key points. I kind of forget how the key points work too, because we haven't used them in so long. And when she does use them, I'm like, oh yeah, she's got the key points. I have to assume that'll become more of a thing later on in the campaign when they get higher level and we start battling like crazy people on a daily basis. Right now, we're still making our way, making a name for ourselves. I'm jumping into the live stream on Friday. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons that are what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows over on Patreon, guys. Doctor Who, Battlestar, Person of Interest. Go check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.